Hey, welcome back to another episode of Camp and Camera. As you can tell by the jacket, it's finally cooling off here in East Tennessee. It's getting down in the low 50s at night, in the mid 60s during the day, so that's some really good building weather. We've been in the last two or three episodes, we've been building the doors for the camper. And as you can see in the foreground, I have the insides of the doors polyurethane now. I put 3 coats of polyurethane sanded between each coat. But that brings us to a pretty critical point in the whole build. The outside of the door, I'm going to be skinning with the 40 thousandths aluminum, just like I did with the rest of the camper. But my original design for the color scheme, is to have the doors be green versus the ivory color that the rest of the camper is. I found that a place real close to where I work, an auto body shop, has the ability to custom color match some green paint. And in this case, I'm going to use the green from my graphics, the Camp EZ logo. They have the ability to custom color match that and to put an automotive grade 2-part paint. It's a single stage paint. I don't have to do any mixing myself, but they can put a 2-part paint in aerosol cans and pressurize it. So I can put an automotive style finish just from a rattle can on the outside of my doors. Now, I want to be sure that the doors are the same colors as the fender and anything else I may want to paint. So I want to get all the parts ready for paint at one time. And that brings me to a design change that I made I want to share with you. I know if you've seen any of the pictures for the original drawings for the Camp EZ, I had kind of a flared fender that I was going to home make myself. I got really lucky. A couple weeks ago on a local swap shop ad on Facebook, I found, drum roll please, some fiberglass fenders from the sticker on it said a 1932 to a 1934 Ford truck. These are supposed to be the rear fenders for a mid-30 or early 30s Ford truck. Now, the fellow that I bought these from, he was using these to, I guess you could say, make hot rods out of old Ford trucks. So he said that these fiberglass fenders are actually like an inch, maybe an inch and a half wider than the stock Ford fenders would have been. So he just happened to have a set of these he didn't want. He was getting rid of them. Tickled plumb to death to be able to get these fenders. Now, my original drawing had fenders, I think about 44, 45 inches, and these fenders come in at about 45 and a half, 46 inches long. Couldn't have worked out any better. Now, they're just a bit taller than I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut about 7 inches off of the front of the fender, and I'll put a radius on the corners, and that will enable me to drop the fronts down, and then I'll lift the backs up a bit, and then I'll paint those the same color green that I'm going to paint the other side or the outside of the door cores. So today I'm not going to be doing a door build video. Just want to let you know what I'm doing on design change. I'm going to get these fenders cut and prepped for paint. I'm going to cut the aluminum skin for the outside of the door and get it prepped for paint. And then hopefully in the next video, we'll be talking about the actual painting process. That's something that'll be new to me, and I hope to share with you my successes and failures, hopefully just all successes. Now, one thing I do want to mention about these fenders, I just happened to be noticing it here. I drew a line on these fenders that brings these about 9 7/8 inches wide. I don't actually need the full width of the fender, and it turns out there's something on the bed or the back end of a 32, 33 Ford truck that requires this notch to be cut out in these fenders. So these fiberglass fenders already had this notch cut out of the back. That's okay. If you measure from the narrowest part of this notch to the edge of the outside edge of the fender, it's still like almost 10 inches wide. So for me it works perfect because I think my tires stick out from the side of the camper about 9.5 inches. So all that being said, if I go ahead and remove the side of the fender to the pencil line that I've drawn that corresponds with this narrowest part of the notch, I should still have some fender overhang, give or take, about 1/2 of an inch over my tires. That's going to be perfect. Now, I'm not actually going to remove the width all the way down. I'm only going to remove it down to this part, this far on the back. And I'm going to let the very bottom of the back be full width. That way it can tuck underneath my camper on the back. And when you're driving down the road behind it, it'll look like the fenders are full length towards the very bottom. And they'll snug up against the side of the camper the rest of the way up. Now my plan, and I hope this works out well, we'll visit this in a future video. My plan is to get some either heavy gauge aluminum L brackets, or make some, or maybe some, you know, some mid-grade steel L brackets. And I want to put L brackets, a few of those, on the inside of this fender all the way around, and probably fiberglass them in place. I don't know, may JB weld those. I'll do a little research on what would be the best there. But I think I'm just going to mount some L brackets around the perimeter of this, and that'll give me something to mount it to the side of the camper with. So I have a good feeling about that. I think it's going to work out really well. Also went to Photoshop and I turned the color of these from black. I took a picture of these kind of just mocked up on the camper. I took a picture of these in black, and I changed the color to green. It's not the exact color green I'm going to use, but it kind of gave me an idea what it's going to look like. I'm pretty tickled about it. I think it's going to look pretty sharp. So just wanted to share with you what I've got going on design change wise. Probably a few more days before I can get back to making another video. I've got some prep work to do on these fenders and the doors before I get to that, so bear with me. But hey, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't pushed the subscribe button, I appreciate you doing that. And just want to let you know that if you're building a teardrop of your own, there's a real good chance that some fenders from an early 30s Ford truck may work for you. Now, I got these at a good deal. Just following up here, I got these at a really good deal. Almost hate to admit, I bought them for 50 bucks for the pair of them. That's really good. I did see some similar fenders on eBay for about $200. And even still, I guess in the fiberglass fender world for campers, that's probably not too bad. So if you score a set of these, you know, somewhere at a swap meet, eBay, wherever, they may work for you. They look really good with my 15-inch tires and wheels. So anyway, that's all for today. Until next time, thanks for joining, and we'll see you later.